Hello and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the second case study. It was a very interesting one, but it also was a pretty difficult case study to model. Most of all because it's the first time you had to use pools and lanes in your models, and that can be confusing. You will often find yourself putting tasks and activities into incorrect lanes and pools when you start modeling, and also a lot of times you will forget to use message flow to cooperate between two different pools and instead just use a normal sequence flow. But that's completely normal. Just practice a bit more and you will never make these mistakes. Now back to the model. So if you have the same model or something similar, then congratulations to you. You've done an excellent job and you're free to skip to section 3. But if you had any questions or any troubles while modeling this process, then don't worry, just stick around till the end of this lecture and we'll go step by step through this model and you'll understand how everything works and why we use certain BPMN elements in certain places. Nothing to worry about. Just follow me. The first thing we need to do is to go back to our textual description and try to identify as many different BPMN elements as we can. But this time, the first element we're going to focus on is not going to be the start event, but it's going to be different actors engaged in the process. So we will identify all different pools and lanes. In the very first sentence of this description, we can see our first actor. The model claim handling process starts when a customer submits a claim. So customer is gonna be our very first actor. Let's quickly highlight it. Now in the second sentence we can see two actors, the notification department and the car insurer. But we do understand that notification department is a part of the car insurer. So the car insurer is gonna be a pool and notification department is going to be a lane inside that pool. Now in the next sentence we can see the third actor of this process, the handling department, which is going to be another lane inside the car insurer pool. And finally, if the assessment is positive, a garage is found to authorize the repairs and the payment is scheduled. So garage is going to be our last actor for this process. Now that we identified all different actors, let's go ahead and identify the start event. Now since I asked you to leave all other pools except the car insurer pool as black boxes, our start event is going to be a start message event inside the car insurer pool. So the whole process is going to start when we receive a claim with the relevant documentation from the customer. Then we check the documents upon completeness and then we register the claim. After that, the handling department picks up the claim and checks the insurance. So check the insurance is going to be another of our tasks. Then an assessment is performed. If the assessment is positive, a garage is found to authorize the repairs and the payment is scheduled. You can already see that we have an XOR split gateway here. If the assessment is positive, one thing happens, and if it's not, another thing happens. If the assessment is positive, a garage is found, so that's going to be one task, and the payment is scheduled, that's going to be the second task. And otherwise, the claim is rejected, so that's going to be our task in the second sequence flow of the XOR split gateway. Finally, in any case, a letter is sent to the customer and the process is considered to be complete. So letter is sent is going to be our last task and the process is considered to be complete is going to be our end event. Now that we have found all the elements we could in the textual description, let's color code them so it will be easier for us to transfer them to our workspace. So you can see that this case study is very colorful. It contains a lot of different BPMN elements and it's very good. It's very good to practice and not to be afraid of big models because you're gonna deal with them a lot. Now as you can see, the colors I've used were purple for different pools, so customer, car insurer and garage. Pink for different lanes, we only have two of them, two departments. Then green for events, we only have two events, one start event and then only one end event. And then yellow for gateways, we have the XOR gateway. If the assessment is positive, or else. And we also have another XOR gateway that I should mention now. In this action, when we check the documents upon completeness, because a lot of times in the real world examples it's written like this, people do not want to specify that if the claim doesn't pass this check, it will be rejected. So they just leave it out of the description and hope you will understand. Every time you see a keyword check in any task, make sure to pick up on that condition, in our case upon completeness, and represent it on your model that this is a task followed by an XOR gateway. There is another hidden gateway XOR split example in this description, and again it is following the check keyword. So can you find it? It's right here. As you can see, checks will be our task, and we're gonna check if the claim is covered by the insurance or not. So the insurance will be the condition for the XOR gateway. Look out for these hidden XOR gateways because it is quite hard to spot them. And now plain blue are marked all different tasks. As you can see, I forgot to mark one task in my initial read of the text. Now that we have found all elements of this process and we've separated them into all correct categories, let's go back to our model and see where it all fits. Since we have so many different BPMN elements in this case study, I've decided to color code all the elements on the model according to their color inside the textual description. I figured out this would help us to read the model better and understand what's happening. So first thing I want you to notice is that we have three different pools. One is being customer, the other one is being car insurer, and the last one is being garage. Both garage and customer are white boxes, so we don't know what's happening inside of them, but it's important that we have them represented on the model because of the communication going between these two pools and the main pool of the car insurer. And inside car insurer we have two different departments that are represented by two different lanes inside the main pool. So let's go ahead and dive straight into the process, follow it from the very start to the very end, see if we've missed something important or overcomplicated something that's not important at all. The process starts with a customer sending claim documentation to notification department. Here, instead of the start message event that you will learn in section 4, you could have had just a simple task of receiving claim. Now, after you receive the claim, we check it for the completeness, our first hidden XOR gateway, and then if it's incomplete, we're going to reject the claim. And if it is complete, then we register the claim, we afterwards check insurance, and again, the second hidden XOR gateway, if it's covered, we assess the claim, and if it's not covered, again, we reject the claim. Now, when we're assessing the claim, if it's rejected, we reject the claim. And if it's approved, we authorize repairs and we send an authorization message to the garage pool, and afterwards we schedule a payment. In the end, we either reject the claim and then notify the customer about it, sending him a notification letter, and then the process is completed with the customer being notified, or we schedule a payment and notify the customer about the positive outcome of his claim. And again, we have the same end event that the customer is notified. Another thing you could have noticed on this model is that we have two information artifacts here. I personally like to put them last on the models because they do not affect the flow of the token, and they're here just to make the model more readable, more understandable, and to make it easier to rework the model in the future. So after you've done modeling all the different tasks, events, and gateways, just go ahead, reread the description one last time and pick up all information artifacts you can. In this case study, we have a claim, and then we have registering the claim. So these are two different artifacts. One is being just a simple claim that the client sent us that we then check for completeness, and then we use it to create an updated version of it, a separate information artifact data object called registered claim. And as you can see in this model, registered claim is used in every task after it has been created. So a very big process, a very important process, and the model looks very nice. It has a lot of different elements. It even has different actors. But when it comes to modeling, all you need to do is to carefully read through the description, try to identify those BPMN elements, and then simply transfer them to workspace in a logical order. So that's it. I hope now you understand this case study and you understand information artifacts and pools and business process modeling better. You're less afraid of modeling and you're ready to proceed into section 3. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and until next time, happy modeling.